There's one coastal city in Portugal that most international buyers still haven't found. A place with long Atlantic beaches, incredible hiking, vast riverfront parks and public spaces, amazing food, and a traditional old town filled with pristine whitewashed buildings. It's walkable, livable, historic, and it sits just 45 minutes from Porto's international airport. I consider it Portugal's last undiscovered coastal city. This is Viana do Castelo, and in this video I'll show you why I like it, where I see the opportunity today, and how you can still get in ahead of the crowd. Hi, I'm Ronan McMahon. For more than 20 years I've been travelling the world looking for places where the real estate story is about to change. And Portugal is a market I know extremely well. I've personally invested in property in destinations right across the country, including the Algarve, on the Silver Coast between Lisbon and Porto, and on the country's northern coast along its border with Spain. Viana, as it's often called, is the most northerly coastal city in Portugal. It sits where the River Lima enters the Atlantic Ocean. This is a place where mountains, river and ocean all converge. The city rises sharply on the north bank of the river towards the striking Basilica de Santa Lucia, which stands watch over the city like a sentry. On the coast north and south, you'll find wide, open beaches backed by dunes. These beaches have a raw Atlantic energy that has made Viana one of Europe's top destinations for wind and kite surfing. And at the heart of Viana lies its beautifully preserved old town, a compact, walkable centre filled with historic churches, pristine, whitewashed buildings, and lively cafes and restaurants. Viana isn't a resort town. It's a real, working city with deep roots in shipbuilding, fishing and trade. You feel that immediately when you arrive. Fishing boats still head out along the Lima, just as they have for generations. Fresh seafood remains central to the local culture. Locals dine on grilled sardines, octopus rice, codfish, hake, often served with the light, crisp Vinho Verde wine produced just inland. This is a place for long lunches that stretch into the afternoon, for slow evenings by the river, for a lifestyle that feels grounded and unhurried. What's interesting about Viana is how the city has been evolving around this heritage. In recent decades, Viana's working riverfront has been transformed into a vast network of public spaces along the Lima. What was once an industrial space is now the social heart of the city. In the afternoons and evenings, you see families out walking, kids playing along the water, couples idling with a glass of wine as the sun drops behind the horizon. It's an incredible space that perfectly complements the old town, making this one of the most livable destinations in Portugal. Unlike Porto or Lisbon though, Viana still feels calm. Here you have most of the services of a true city: schools, clinics, markets, cafes, but without the noise, congestion or intensity you find in Portugal's bigger urban centres. And yet the cost to own here can be a fraction of other Portuguese cities. In a moment, I'll show you some examples. But first, if you'd like to learn about destinations like Viana, let me know in the comments. I'd send you my full real estate buyer's guide to Portugal. For years, Viana do Castelo flew under the radar. While international buyers poured into Porto, Lisbon and the Algarve, Viana was largely overlooked. But that's starting to change. Right now, prices here are still a fraction of what you'll pay in Porto and other major cities. In many central neighbourhoods of Porto, you're paying eye-watering sums for small apartments on crowded streets. Averages show the story. As of February 2026, prices in Porto averaged €377 per foot. By contrast, in Viana, the average is just €209 per square foot, 45% less. What that means in practice is that in Viana you can still buy small apartments in the old town from the mid €200,000, large renovated apartments in the heart of the historic centre from the mid €350,000. Houses in small villages just north of the city, minutes from the beach and 15 minutes from downtown, in the €200,000 to €300,000 range. But I don't expect this pricing gap to last. In recent years, Viana has been attracting more international tourists and real estate buyers, and prices have been rising. It's a time-honoured pattern. Crowds arrive, the well-known cities get saturated, prices run hard, then people start looking for places that offer more space, better quality of life and better value. Cities like Viana do Castelo move into the spotlight. It's already starting to happen here. More visitors are arriving, more buyers are taking notice, but crucially, there's still a window of opportunity to act here. In a moment, I'll show you exactly what real estate costs here today. But before I do, if you want insight like this on emerging places around the world, make sure you're subscribed. Now, let's step back, look at the fundamentals, and answer some of the key questions I get about buying in Portugal. Let's start with the most common question I get. Can foreigners buy real estate in Portugal? Yes, and the process is simple, secure, and well established. You don't need citizenship, you don't need residency, and there's no requirement to live in the country. Foreigners buy property here every day. And importantly, Portugal is one of the few countries in Europe where financing is readily available to non-resident buyers. In many countries, getting a mortgage as a foreigner is difficult or impossible. In Portugal, it's different. Non-residents can typically borrow up to 70% of a property's value with loan terms of up to 30 years. Portuguese banks are used to working with international buyers. They understand the process and they're set up for it. I've taken out mortgages here myself multiple times, and in my experience, the process is straightforward. Rates are highly competitive too. As of today, they start at around 2.3%, low by international standards. Now, let's take a look at what it actually costs to own in Viana do Castelo today. Viana has already started to attract more affluent buyers, and you can see that in the types of developments now coming to market. On the outskirts of the city, particularly along the river, new waterfront condo projects are emerging. Modern, high-spec homes with premium pricing. These are large, design-forward properties, and prices can run into the €1 million range. But for that, you're getting some exceptional real estate. Here's an example. This spacious modern apartment overlooks the Lima River on the edge of town. It spans approximately 3,290 square feet, has 3 bedrooms and 5 bathrooms, multiple balconies with river and ocean views, and a rooftop plunge pool. It's listed for €895,000. Not that you need to spend anything like that much to own in Viana. Some of my favorite opportunities here are in the Old Town. Properties here tend to be smaller. That's simply the nature of historic buildings. But what you're buying is location, character, and walkability. This 2-bedroom apartment in the heart of the historic centre is just a short walk from the riverside, as well as restaurants, bars, and local shops. Set in a traditional whitewash building, it spans 925 square feet and is listed at €255,000. The coastline just north of the city is particularly interesting. Along this stretch, you'll find small towns and villages with real character. Places where you can be minutes from downtown, yet surrounded by nature and ocean views. My team met an American expat who'd bought a historic farmhouse in the hills north of the city. The property sat on a sloping plot with sweeping views of the coast. The home had 4 bedrooms with a separate self-contained studio on the top floor, with its own kitchen and bathroom. The land includes several additional structures, including a barn and a 2-car garage. It needs renovation, but the purchase price was just €200,000. You'll also find larger coastal homes with strong lifestyle appeal here. This detached villa spans nearly 6,000 square feet. It includes a main residence with large ocean view terraces, as well as a secondary building with 2 one-bedroom apartments. It's currently listed at €760,000. With properties like these near Viana, you're still getting space, views, and lifestyle at a meaningful discount to what you'd pay in comparable coastal destinations to the south. Viana is a great market where you can generate solid rental income, both long-term and short-term. When my team was last here, local agents told them about the severe shortage of quality long-term rental properties in the city. So well-located, well-presented homes can perform strongly. Figure on gross yields in the mid to high single-digit range. That's solid income in a market like this. Short-term rentals are also gaining traction. Right now, performance is strongest during the summer months and key holiday periods. Demand drops off outside of peak season, particularly in June, July, and August. But that's typical of markets at this stage of development, and this is where the opportunity lies. In Viana, you're buying ahead of an expected rise in new arrivals. More people will come here to visit, to work remotely, to spend extended periods of time. The fundamentals are simply too strong for this place to remain overlooked. As awareness grows, I'd expect to see more consistent year-round occupancy, higher nightly rates, and improving overall yields. I consider Viana do Castelo one of the most complete coastal cities in Portugal. If you want nightlife and crowds, this isn't it. But if you're looking for lifestyle, space, walkability, and the chance to get in before a place fully changes, this is exactly the kind of city you should be paying attention to. If you want to see more places like this, make sure you're subscribed, because opportunities like this don't stay hidden forever. I'd see you next time.